Hey guys, it's FlashCat, and today I have a little tutorial for you. How to build a sugarcane farm in Minecraft. Now this design is relatively inexpensive for a player who has just started playing Minecraft, as it only uses a single sticky piston for 12 blocks of sugarcane. So it is possible to have 12 of these in a row before you must have another module with one of these redstone blocks and one of the repeaters here. And also you do need some form of transport system. Like in this case, I just placed a row of ice with water on top of it, carrying the sugarcane over to this hopper here, but this is not necessary. It is possible to do it slightly differently. Like, for example, you could have many of these modules stacked on top of each other and have a single ice stream at the bottom. Also, you should be careful to have some sort of block here to prevent sugarcane from landing on this block here, as it sometimes does that. It's only happened once that I've seen, but it is certainly possible. Now, to build this, you will need a piston, a block of sand, a piece of redstone, and one sugarcane for each block of sugarcane you want to have in the farm. And for every 12 blocks of sugarcane that you have in the farm, you will need 3 pieces of redstone dust, 1 redstone repeater, a redstone block, and of course you need a bunch of blocks. Not just for that, you need the blocks for the rest of the farm as well. I haven't counted them out because blocks are very cheap in the game. You can get something like, say, stone bricks, and they're very, very inexpensive. And you also will need some hoppers and chests to collect the items, although that is pretty much optional, although I would highly recommend it, as you'd have to manually collect them, and that sort of defeats, or that completely defeats the point of having an automatic farm. And you also need some water to transport them, and also I recommend some ice at the bottom. Of course, that is not 100% necessary if you use regular blocks, but they will travel more quickly if you use ice. Alright, to build this exactly as pictured, you must start with a 1x8 strip of blocks, and also it is possible to make this bigger and smaller as long as you have one of these modules for every 12 blocks of sugarcane. So starting with the 1x8 design here, place 8 blocks of sand, like so, and the sugarcane will go on top of that, but obviously you can't place that until you have the water in. So next you want to place the ice in front, 8 blocks of ice, and next you want to have the blocks going around it. Now in the other design here, well rather this design, I placed a hopper down at the end. I'm not doing that in this particular version here. It's just an example. Obviously you should add that if you want to be able to collect the drops easily, but for this simple example it is not necessary. So if you're going to build this exactly as pictured and place the hopper there, you would place it under this block right here. Now place the water in the back there, and then place the sugarcane in front here. And also, you can add blocks behind it if you want to. I would do that because it'll look a little bit better in my opinion, but obviously that's just preference. And also makes it easier to place the pistons, which go in just like this. And when they extend, they will break the piece of sugarcane that grows on top of this down into the water stream. Next, place a block on top of one of the pistons, doesn't matter which one it is, and then place another block out in front of it so the block is over the sugarcane, and then break the block back here. Obviously, you could leave it there if you wanted to, it doesn't really matter, but it's just for a bare minimum design here, I'm going to remove it, and then place a strip of blocks all the way down the pistons, like this, and then place redstone on top of it. And now this is the most complicated spot for redstone, and it is not very complicated at all. So place sticky piston there, block of redstone. So don't be afraid if you're not very good at redstone. This is the most complicated part, and it is actually quite simple. So place a repeater there, facing away from the redstone block on 3 ticks, and then place a block in front of it, like that, and then place a block above it, like that, and then connect it with pieces of redstone. Now this is the absolute bare minimum for this design. Now obviously you could do a lot more with this. You could make it much bigger. You could add chests and hoppers down at the bottom, and I would recommend doing that. And also you could decorate it a little bit more so that it looks better than just this plain white thing here. But obviously, like I said, this is just the bare minimum, just a simple example. And also the credit for this design does not go to me. I'm not sure who originally designed this. It's relatively common design, pretty simple with the bud switches. But if anyone does know who made it, please let me know, and I will be sure to credit them. And anyway, I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.